Okay. Here with my friend Ivan Sachs. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. I'm very pleased to see you, Sharon.
Yes,
Thank
here
you.
in Dallas, but our hearts are really in Israel.
They really are.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, yeah.
All the time.
Okay, so we're doing this so we can share some information because a lot of people have a lot of questions, and you're fielding these questions today, and I'm the lucky one who gets to ask you. And really, the probing questions of what inquiring minds want to know here, Ivan.
Right. Well, I hope I'm able to answer them clearly
I think you will.
so that people can really understand what this whole project is about.
Right, right. So you just took a 13-day trip to Israel with our friend Hillel. Tell me about it.
So all I did, I knew we were sitting there, everyone since October the 7th, everyone's sitting at home, watching the news, on a daily basis, seeing tragedy, because each one of our soldiers, whether they're injured or they unfortunately pass away, it's a huge tragedy. And I didn't know what to do. I knew, though, that I could buy a ticket to go to Israel. So I bought a ticket. And fortunately, my daughter's friend, Ayelet, had a whole lot of supplies that she had collected before, but didn't know how to get them over to Israel.
That was through Element Moving.
Element Moving,
Yes,
right.
okay.
And so I said to her, okay, I will be your mover.
Wow.
So I became the subcontractor to Element Moving. And so I decided to take all the bags with me to Israel. So fortunately, so I bought my ticket. She filled in the gap of supplies, children's letters as well. And I knew that I wanted to take the maximum amount of bags. Now, a person can take up to 10 bags on a flight. You obviously have to pay baggage fees, but I had more than 10 bags. So I asked Hillel, would he join me? And it was the best thing that I could have done. He jumped at the thing because he wanted to go prior to this, had made quite a few inquiries, but none of them seemed to work. So he and I went together and we arrived in Israel, not knowing how we were going to distribute. We were going to distribute. No one was going to stop us.
And you didn't just drop these things off at a warehouse. You went and you and Hillel delivered.
We didn't know what we were going to do.
Wow.
All we knew that we had the bags, they were schlepped, and we took them up many, many stairs into this apartment that we had rented. And then overnight, I decided, you know what, let's sort out what's in the bag, in each bag. So the next morning we sorted out in each bag. And then I had a friend in Israel who I mentioned, I bought all this stuff over. And he said to me, you know, well, there's a great organization called Thank Israeli Soldiers. And they actually distribute all the supplies that we had to the different military bases as well as to evacuees. And so I said, okay, I will not release them, though, if I don't have an opportunity to be able to deliver it as well. I said,
And
"No
bring
problem."
messages from Dallas.
And bring messages from Dallas.
Of
Because
support.
I could have just turned it over to them.
Right.
But my condition was no. And they were quite happy with it. They said, when your supplies arrive at Thank You Israeli Soldiers, when we go out every day to drop them off at the different bases, you can go to wherever you want. You can go to the evacuees, you can go to the bases. So I said, fine. And
So let's go back up for a second. You were here. You had to gather all these supplies. You had to collect them. You had to get yourself and other people donating these supplies.
Right. Well,
Then you had
fortunately,
volunteers.
though, I've got to give credit to Ayelet. Even though we did get some additional supplies, most of that was taken care of by Ayelet before.
They'd already collected
So
that.
it was like a
Okay.
match made in heaven. She had the product, didn't know how to get it over, and I was happy to trace it over, do whatever.
Right. And you had to line up a lot of volunteers to help you because each bag had to be sort of, this is gloves and this is socks and this is...
So that's on the Israeli side.
That was over there too.
No, on the when we left the United States and all the supplies, we put them into bags, boom, 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 boom. I couldn't remember what was in each bag. So I thought, if I was going to have to distribute it, let me know what's in each bag. Let me sort it all out. So I managed to gather in Israel, much easier to get volunteers than here.
Really?
We got about 12 volunteers
Wow.
to come to our Airbnb, and they just sorted it all out. It was like, it was just magical. Having everyone come together, sort them out, and then we had everything ready for when the Thank Israeli Soldiers pickup came. It was all ready for them to go in categories.
And you had the right supplies going to the right, whether it was evacuees or soldiers, the right letters going to each group.
Right. So
Yeah.
the letters themselves, we took upon ourselves. We never gave our letters away. We deliberately went out to every single soldier. I promise you, I jumped ahead of anyone. If I saw a soldier, they had to get a letter. And so when we gave them a letter, it was the most inspiring thing. You would think a letter from a child. Okay, you look at it as a person living in America or whatever, you look at the kid, oh, sweet, isn't that cute? They don't spell properly or whatever, and they've got a cute little drawing. But for them, it meant everything.
It's support, and it's like a hug from America.
Exactly. And that's what they said to us along the way, the whole time. We are so appreciative for you coming here. And I'm thinking to myself, they're appreciative for me coming here, and you going to fight a war,
right,
and risking your life and all your family.
Right.
So there was a mutual gratitude going on between both sides. But it was an extremely inspiring thing to see how a piece of paper with a kid's drawing. The only problem that I had is that I wanted to make this into a special project for the kids that drew those pictures. For me, it was important to have their name.
Right.
Unfortunately, some of them didn't put their names on. Mm-hmm. But when I did have a name, I could put it on the video and it went to that person, that child. And they knew that their efforts were making a difference.
Okay, so this is good advice. As people are having their kids write more letters, encourage your kids to sign the letters. Sign the name. That helps.
Even
Yes.
put your email.
Right,
Some of
right.
them wanted to say thank you.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Okay. And what can we be doing now? Helping to pay for the baggage fees, helping to collect more supplies. Because you said you're getting ready to go back again to Israel.
Yeah, I think I'll be going back probably in about a week.
Wow.
Because there's not enough people to take the goods. And so I'm going to go and I'll be able to take 9. If somebody else comes with me, I might be able to take 18 or
Of the large
27.
duffel bags.
Yeah, the large duffel
Wow.
bags. That's what I would ideally like, if someone would come with me and we can take more bags. So why do you have to go now? And
Right.
the reason is it's urgent and it's important.
There's real need.
There's a real need now for us to take the sleeping bags to them now. It's cold there now. Mm-hmm. Deliver the bags in 2 months' time. They don't need that.
Right.
So it is urgent.
And I saw on the list you have things like the hot hands, the socks, the gloves, the hats. So these are things, and if you only have a little bit of money or a little bit you can donate, go on and buy a few pairs of socks,
100%.
buy some hats. If you have a lot of money, go buy a bunch of sleeping bags.
Right.
And it says, okay, we have a need of 100 and we've collected already 45 or whatever.
Exactly.
So you know what's needed.
Yeah. And then
Right.
it's prioritized. On a weekly basis, we prioritize it.
Okay.
We know what they need. Now, what's interesting about Jewish people a lot of the times, everyone knows what everybody else needs. Mm-hmm. So people say, why are you sending it that way? You could be sending it a different way. Why are you buying this? They should be buying that. Look, I'm not here for debate. I'm here to work for the soldiers and for the people in Israel. I know that the people that I'm working with, thank Israeli soldiers, very impeccable integrity, great background. Some people might even know Wrigley.
Sarah, you have it Wriggler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we speak about it?
Yeah. This is her daughter?
Her daughter.
Wow. I thought it might be.
I think
Plea,
that's why I
Playa.
spoke. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I asked her, and her mother is the authoress.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, the woman that you're working with is the daughter of Sarah Yocheved Wriggler, who's a famous author who's come to Dallas and spoken here a few times. Right. And this is, I guess, her organization, this Thank Israeli Soldiers.
No, well,
or she's working for them.
So what's interesting, who actually started off, is a very interesting couple.
Okay.
Have you heard of the Claymans?
Sure.
Abba and
Pamela.
Ima Clayman, Pamela.
Yeah. Okay.
They started it.
Wow.
So
okay.
it's their organization.
Amazing.
Clear works for it.
Wow.
And just very, very. Have you ever been to their house for dinner? And that?
Yeah, very, very special, holy people. This is no joke.
level.
These are people that are really. First of all, they're giving, obviously,
absolutely.
and then they're giving us an opportunity to give with them. Really, is what's happening here.
No, it's interesting.
Right.
That's that small thing. So that's who started it all.
Wow.
And you've been there for dinner.
Yeah, years ago, through an Aisha Torah trip.
It is an amazing
Very
experience.
special family.
26 chairs around the table.
Wow.
And you have an amazing dinner there.
I always said about Pamela, she looks like royalty. The way she wears her special head covering, it's just, wow. Okay, we digress though. So there is need, there's an opportunity. Like if you look at the list, you go, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. Hundreds and hundreds of things are needed. But if each of us just take a few things, I'll get some hats, you buy some socks, you buy some gloves, we'll all chip in. And then you'll be our shliach and you'll bring it along with these
Well,
letters.
that's how it's worked.
Yeah.
That's how it's worked. And the thing is, what you said is important. When we go to Israel, and when we went to Israel, the country's made up of 9 million people. I'm one person. Hillel's 2. How many people can you touch? You can touch one person at a time. And if you touch them meaningfully, that has a lot of expansion where people just feel that love and support. And there were so many examples of that. Going into the hospitals to visit the injured soldiers. To get in there is not easy.
Right.
But when you do get in, and we've got good contacts to get in now, you meet with the injured soldier whose life is completely changed. The parents are sitting around, their lives are completely changed. Their siblings' lives have also changed. This is huge proportions that people don't recognize. Even when we think about it, it gets too overwhelming.
It is.
When I'm praying and thinking of people in Israel, my prayers have expanded by at least 50% longer. Because when you think about it, you've got the soldier, you've got the parents to the soldier, so you've got the lone soldiers who've got their parents as well worrying about their sons.
In other countries, in America and Canada, yeah.
100%. Then you've got the injured soldier, and then you've got all the amount of medical stuff that needs to take place. Then you've got the evacuees. It's just enormous how many people have been impacted by this. The country itself doesn't have all the tourism that it normally has, so the economy is obviously not as strong, as robust as before. And so we really need to be there for them. There's no time to sit back. Some people have said, tell me something, the army doesn't supply the soldiers with the stuff that we're buying?
That's a question I think a lot of people have asked. Why isn't the Army able to supply this? My understanding is that the reservists especially are the ones in need because they really hadn't planned on them.
Right.
They order a certain amount of supplies, right? Is that the idea?
Well, that is. As an idea, the standing Israeli army is 150,000. You've got 300,000 reservists. They came in within 48 hours, 300,000 reservists came to fight for Israel.
Wow.
It's taken over a year and a half for Russia to get 300,000 conscripts to come to their war.
Wow.
So you can see the commitment that the people have. The people are there. The thing that people don't realize is that this is not a war that's the 6-day war or the 73 war that was 18 days and 6 days. This is a long time war.
Right.
So your underwear that you normally bring is gone within 3 months or 4 months. It has to be replaced or whatever. So those basic things that you think, why are we doing that? Sleeping bags. They had sleeping bags, but they didn't have enough. And for the environments that they're in,
Right, they were probably fine when the weather was warmer. Now that the weather's so cold, they need something
more durable for that particular and for a longer period of time.
Right.
Before you had to do it for that time. So it's a totally different situation. The way I view it, if anyone has a question as to what we're buying for them, think about it if it was your child and they were going into war. Would you not want them to have the best of everything?
100%.
And if you gave them another pair of slippers or a pair of gloves or something that would be more effective, the army will sometimes supply them just with the basic boots or something. So what if you got a better boot? What if the helmet's more comfortable and more secure? And you've made that guy and safer, and you've made them. We've bought life vests for people. We've bought helmets for people while we're in Israel, and that's been a big help. I think it's important that people realize the difference they can make.
What about the idea that maybe other people should go and visit and volunteer and help? Maybe can we give some advice to people that are considering that?
Well, there is, the one thing about the Jewish people is that we are very creative and we're very innovative. There are many opportunities to volunteer over there. The thing what people need to realize though is when you hit the ground, you want to hit the ground running. You don't want to go, oh, where can I go and volunteer? Where can I hit the ground running? Know where you're going to volunteer, or know of several opportunities that you can go to those particular places. And there are enough places to do that with. My choice was, or the way I landed up with Thank Israeli Soldiers. So what I would do is I donated the goods, I rented a car, and I would go out to the different bases and deliver the actual supplies that we had, in addition to go and visit the people in the hospitals. So imagine if I did that with Hillel, and imagine, because I was thinking, well, how can we do another one? Some people say, oh, I'd love to do that with you again. I'd like to take 12 people with, maybe 3 in a team, and you go to different parts of the country. You come back to your Airbnb at night and you debrief.
Yeah.
How to go, and you regroup,
Yeah.
and you touch so many more people. Because again, there are some people doing incredible work over there. I mean, what we did was very nice, but I'm sure there are other people that have done fantastic work. So volunteers are really appreciated.
And kol hakavod, you're not just talking about it, you're doing it. And I think there are other people that would like to do it as well. So maybe what they need to do is reach out to you if they think that they can take some time off from work, or maybe they're retired and could do this. You know, even Hillel is a working nurse.
Exactly.
He had to take time off from work to be able to go.
Right.
So,
but the joy that you have in taking the bags across, you can fly on an airplane, you can go and stay in the nicest hotel, you can stay in the King David, you can stay in the Dan Hotel, you can stay in all these fancy places. You're not in touch with the people. You want to be with the people. I even made that as a statement. The one place where I debriefed and I had an interview in Jerusalem, I said, okay, I'm going to go and sit in the Imbal. And we sat in the Imbal and we did an interview. It was very nice. No people there to really be in touch with and to connect with. But it's a good place to go and have a quiet interview.
it sounds like this journey has really changed you.
Not even a question. My life has changed. In a very profound way. I've had cancer before, so you would think, well, cancer must have changed his life a few times as well. But this is much bigger. I'm not going to say better, because this is tragic. What we're dealing with is a lot of tragedy. You know, we went to a Shiva house where a person's lost their child, and you see that baby's left behind and the wife. And that's one case.
Right, and there's
We've
many.
I know we've lost at least 2,000 people. 2,000 people are saying Kaddish. Then at the same time, we've got all those children that are impacted, the wives and everyone else. Then all the evacuees that had to leave their homes.
And the injured soldiers and their families, and the soldiers that are just fighting in the war and their families are left behind. Mommy and kids are trying to keep everything together.
All I wanted to do was find out if I can take bottles of water to the family's house, or whatever the father would normally do, what we could do to do that. I didn't land up doing that, but I landed up doing what I did. So volunteers, plenty of opportunities. You have to be a little creative. Some people are a little bit more innovative and a little bit more chutzpahdik, and which I'd put myself in that category. I don't say no. Like, for example, when I went to the hospital and I asked to see the soldiers, I said, no, you can't. I said, can I see the guy in charge? He says, no, you can't. He says, no, you can't. I said, no, I have to speak to him. I spoke to him, Joey, very nice guy. I said, I'm not here to, have a celebration party with them or anything like that. I really care. And I want to find out what I can do for the families and for the injured patient. He warmed up to that and opened up all the doors for all the hospitals in Israel.
Wow.
So if I would have accepted no, which would have been the thing to do, you've got to be able to drive through that no.
Right.
And
turn that no into a yes.
Yeah, because you've got a bigger purpose. My purpose wasn't to just come and, say, oh, I went there and I saw them. And I didn't go to any of the tourist sites. What I wouldn't regard it as a tourist site at all. People say, oh, well, did you go down to Berry and to all the kibbutzim and that? No, I didn't. Not because I had a certain amount of time. I had a job to do. Yeah, and that's what we could fit in that time.
Well, it's inspiring what you're doing, and I know we want to be a part of it, our family, and I know the community wants to be a part of it. And so I think, again, we should remind people they can go to the WhatsApp page. You have a listing of all the
so there's three ways of participating.
Okay, how?
And it's a short window for the one. The one is thankisraelisoldiers.org. They have a very low overhead, but they do need a budget, and it comes to an end on the 15th of January. So in other words, you can go there, and whatever dollar you put in, you get $3.
Are you saying so through the 15th of January, all the donations are tripled?
Oh, tripled, yeah.
Okay.
To Thank Israeli Soldiers.
ThankIsraeliSoldiers.org. Okay.
The second way to do it is, as you said, on Amazon. And the third way is to
And
go.
by the way, all those Amazon products are going right to the Element moving warehouse, and they're packaging it up for you, right?
Well, I go there and pack it up.
You pack it. Wow. Okay.
yeah.
And do you need volunteers to help
I
with
do.
that?
I sometimes
Okay.
do need it. So what I've been doing is doing it myself. It's a lot of work, but I take responsibility for it. And then the people that are traveling, taking the bags, I let them open up the bags and see what's in the bags. I let them touch it to say that they put something in the bag, so they can see what's in it. Every bag's got a list of everything item that's in the bag. And so all they have to do is take it to Israel, and there's someone to pick up the bags when
On
they
the
get
other
to
side.
on the airport, when they get to the airport, and to give them a ride if they need to Jerusalem or whatever. So there's really not that much. When I first went, I didn't have that with me. I didn't have any of the paperwork or anything.
You
so
had to just start from
slog it out.
scratch.
Yeah. But
Wow.
it's much easier now.
Wow. Okay. Well, Ivan, we want to do this with you, and we're extremely appreciative that you're giving us this opportunity, because someday we're going to be telling our grandchildren. You have grandchildren, I do, as they grow up, when they're going to say what happened, and we can say we helped.
Yeah.
We were there. We prayed. We donated. We helped. We all have a role to play.
Exactly. And one other place, I said two. The third place is orhev.com or .org.com. And there, when you say donate, there's a donate button that says Ivan Israel Journey. And you can donate at Orhev. Now, what is the cash used for? The cash is used for carrying luggage. It's also, we buy certain things that they need that might not be on the Amazon list, but they might need it, and we'll buy that single item for them as
And
well.
weren't you able to buy some meals and host a barbecue and this kind of
We
thing? when you were
hosted
there?
2 barbecues.
Wow.
We gave money to the evacuees. I had the blessing of being able to give the first present to a bride and groom.
Wow.
They didn't know it though, because when they were coming up the one street in Jerusalem, I asked them, "Hey, what? Oh no, we're going to get married." Oh, so that's wonderful. So I said, "Well, yes, 500 shekel." No, we can't take. I said, "What? You're denying a wedding present?" So they took it.
Yeah.
So you have these opportunities. Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, you can pay for a soldier for meals and all of that." Don't be so sure about that. When we went to an ice cream shop, we saw some soldiers and we thought, okay, we're going to pay for them. The cashier says, sorry, we pay for all our soldiers.
Wow.
And so we've had experiences like that where the people are just so generous. There's one thing, if I can share one
Sure.
thing. There's what I'd like you to remember is a donut and a cup of coffee.
Okay.
So I went to go and see an injured soldier, 2 injured soldiers. One, his name was Ariel Ben Afrat, and the other one was Or Ben Natta, both in Sharet Tzedek in Jerusalem.
Okay.
So I decided I wanted to get them something, not just for that moment. I said, I'm going to go and get them some gift certificates, and I'm going to give them some cash. I went down to the bakery, which is called Angel Bakery.
Ah, famous.
Oh, you know it?
Yeah.
So I go into Angel Bakery and I tell the guy, look, I want to buy 500 shekels gift certificate, another 500 shekels gift certificate. Okay. He says, do you mind if I make it into 5 100 gift certificates as opposed to 1 5? I said, sure. Okay, no problem. He says, because I want to buy 100. This is the guy working on that counter on the other side.
Wow.
The owner says he also wants to. This is people that are just giving and giving. They give all their baked goods at the end, all out to the evacuees. The thing that was interesting though, outside, while I'm waiting for the gift certificates to be done, they give me a donut. Please have a donut. Okay, fine, we take a donut. Guy says, but you can't have a donut without coffee. And it made me realize, when we're taking bags to Israel, maybe taking the bag is, but maybe paying for the baggage as well is a donut plus coffee.
Yeah.
It's not to say that everyone needs to. I said to people, if they just gave $5 or $10, you were part of the journey. It's not about how much you give, but it's that you're part of supporting Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to be like Hashem. Hashem is always giving to us. So we want to be able to do that too.
Well,
Thank you for giving us that
With
opportunity.
pleasure. Thank you, Shay. I appreciate it.